go now to Richard Worley, international correspondent for the Swiss news organisation Blick. Richard, thanks for joining us. Now, Israel-Palestine is quoted to be the most divisive conflict in the world, and that includes within the EU. Break down the divide of perspectives within the European Union for us.
Well, I was yesterday attending the European Summit in Brussels. There was a sense of unity, there was a final communique, but the only thing on which European countries are actually agreeing is the humanitarian aid. They have a plan to bring massive humanitarian aid to Gaza by sea, in addition to from what is going on inside Gaza from Egypt, but the rest of the subject, from diplomacy to peace plan or whatever, there is division. There is a hope, especially pushed by Spain, that an international peace conference could take place, but as President Macron himself recognized in Brussels, planning a peace conference in the middle of the Israeli strike to Gaza is just impossible.
So the UN General Assembly calling for the humanitarian truce that was voted for most of the members, but Austria and Croatia were one of the few who opposed it. Why is that?
Well, you have, first of all, the legacy of history. You wouldn't be surprised that countries like Germany or Austria, which have the past that they have during the Second World War with the Jewish population, clearly they side with Israel, and they are absolutely unable to defend any other type of position, despite the fact that Austria is officially neutral. Now, you have countries that voted for this resolution. France is one of them, and you have countries who abstain, like the UK, because they side with the US. So the landscape of the European Union at the moment is united for humanitarian aid, united for the possibility of an international peace conference, but disunited and divided on all other subjects.
So EU leaders say that they can handle both wars in Ukraine and in the Middle East at the same time. Meanwhile, European leaders are on whirlwind trips across the Middle East. Is the conflict between Israel and Hamas shunting the Ukraine conflict out of the political limelight?
Well, at the moment, it's too early to say. All European countries, and again, I quote President Macron, he repeated yesterday in Brussels that France and the European Union will continue to hold its promises to Ukraine for a sustainable and long-term aid. Now, there are two questions. First of all, what will happen if the situation becomes tense and difficult in the streets of Europe? You mentioned the number of people who were today in London. There is a massive rally tomorrow in Madrid, Spain, and in France, a lot of people would like to protest, but they cannot. They cannot support Palestine because, for example, in Paris, the protest was cancelled and was forbidden. So if division takes place in the streets of Europe, it's going to be very difficult for European governments to concentrate on those two conflicts. Now, the other dimension is clearly a budget dimension. If they have to devote more means and more aid to Palestine and to the Middle East, yes, the aid to Ukraine might suffer.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Richard, thank you for your time. Richard Worley, international correspondent for the Swiss news organisation Blick.
Thank you.